you can hit a button, depending on what it's bound to double scope. This is good for longer distances. For me, this is bound to Alt. Hit F3. I'm going to be showing you guys the hard difficulty first. Make sure you turn off bot armor for this. And we're going to click start. Hey guys, so in today's video, I'm going to be teaching you how to significantly improve your aim with snipers in Valorant. This includes the Marshal, the Outlaw, and the Operator. So the first thing you need to understand is that there are a variety of different sensitivities in Valorant, and this is the normal sensitivity. And what I'm going to be teaching you for the first part of this video is how to find your correct sniper or scope sensitivity. So that's whenever you scope down, and the way you find this is click Escape, General, and then you see your normal sensitivity, and then you see your scope sensitivity under mouse. The default is 1. By the way, guys, I'm playing at 800 DPI if you guys are curious. And so this is the default. This is what I like to keep it on. If anything, I lower this down to like 0.9. But generally, the way we're going to find this out is come into practice range, click practice, and then we're going to think like, okay, I want to flick onto this guy. So we're going to aim down here and then just try to flick onto the guy that you're imagining. So I'm going to try to flick on that guy, try to flick on that guy, and go for a long one, flick on that guy, a little bit short, and that guy, a little short, and just keep doing this. And what you're going to want to notice is if you're constantly flicking and it's like too hard to get to them, so you're like, oh, I want to aim at this guy, and then you're just coming short every time, or you're constantly aiming at this guy and you're going too far. So if you're coming too short like this, it means you're going to want to raise your sense to like, depending on how severe it is. So if it's like you're really under flicking, so if I'm trying to flick on this guy and I'm going like to here, then I'm probably going to want to raise this like 1.1. And if I'm severely over flicking like this, then I'm probably going to want to go to 0.8. Or 0.9. But if I'm just really close and I'm just consistently under over flicking, you're gonna want to go to 1.05 or 0.95, depending on, you know, if you're over or under flicking. So if you're over flicking, you're gonna want to go to 0.95, but if you're under flicking, you're gonna want to go to 1.05 because you want to go a little faster, right? Are you sick and tired of losing game after game after really trying to win in Valorant competitive, either because your teammates are just horrible, your aim is simply not there, or because you're just not sure what to do next in order to improve? Well, check out my Patreon link down in the description below in order to access my high quality, affordable $5 Valorant courses, which include my Valorant Mentality course, my Valorant Aim Trainer course, and my Valorant Competitive Fundamentals course, where you'll learn everything necessary in order to succeed in Valorant Competitive. Thank you. So that's the basics, guys, and you can kind of practice here a little bit. But how do we actually get better with different snipers? I'm going to be showing you guys the Marshal throughout a lot of this video because I think it's very, very strong, and I think it's probably the harder sniper to use, to be honest, compared to like the Outlaw and the Op, since you're always aiming at chest level. But what we're going to be doing here is hit F3. I'm going to be showing you guys the hard difficulty first. Make sure you turn off bot armor for this, and we're going to click start. And basically, guys, we're just going to make sure we scope down as much as possible. You can no scope with this weapon, but let's try to scope down here and aim at the chest. So try to get as many as you can, and I'll just kind of show you this real quick. That was delayed. Okay, so not bad. You guys might be thinking, okay, this is good practice. You know, this is really good if you're playing against people on eco rounds when they don't have shields, because you can just body shot them. You guys might be thinking, well, with the Marshal, sometimes you kind of need to headshot, right? And that is correct. So this, guys, is a great way to practice with no armor if you want to just practice getting used to the Marshal on hard bots. It's going to be much harder to do that with headshots. So what I would recommend, and for myself, what I would do is go to medium. If you get really good at medium bots and headshotting, I'm going to go and turn on bot armor, so I have to hit the head here, right? You can turn up to hard. So what we're going to do now is just practice the same thing, but with headshots. You have a little bit more time here, so you can take your time slightly, but make sure, again, we're aiming down and trying to hit the head here. Okay guys, so not bad, right? If I wanted to, I could probably raise this to hard. This is not too difficult for me. But depending on where you're at, you can either do easy, medium, or hard. And whenever you're wanting to do headshots, make sure you turn on bot armor. Whenever you're wanting to do body shots, make sure you turn off bot armor. Now, how can we practice? What's the difference between the Marshal and these other snipers? Between the Outlaw and the Marshal, the main difference is really just that you only have 2 shots. The aim down sights is about the exact same time, I think. And it's going to do a lot more damage to the chest, right? So the only difference is here, you really want to just be aiming for the chest and usually not for the head, especially on eco rounds. But the other difference with the op, and this is a big difference, is that you aim down quite a bit slower, so you can kind of feel it whenever you're doing this. Versus the Marshal, it's a lot quicker, right? You can even see it. This is different than the chamber op. The chamber op is a bit quicker than the normal op, but you need to get used to this, so make sure you don't only practice with the Marshal, because this is going to make you feel like you can scope down really fast. Whenever you try to do that here, you're going to see it's not actually accurate, right? Okay, apparently in Valorant it's accurate, but you need to actually wait until you see this dot in the middle. Another tip for the sniper guys, just some tips here, is whenever you're aiming down, you're going to have this dot in the middle. And whenever you move, the dot disappears. Whenever the dot is not there, it means your shot will not be accurate. So you can see it's going up there, right? I should not be hitting people here, but, you know, eventually one of these will hit. This is exactly why you don't want to be moving. You want to be standing still, right? And so I think a lot of us probably know this, but just another tip to keep in mind. So thinking back to the operator now, you need to get used to the slow scope in time, and you need to get used to aiming for body shot level. You pretty much never want to be aiming for head level with the op, and I think that's something a lot of newer oppers do. They're like, just going to aim where I normally aim, and that's up here. But you can see this is going to be a lot harder to hit than if we're aiming here, which is much, much bigger. You can even hit them in the arm, and it's still going to kill them, as long as it's in the chest kind of area here. Another tip that I have for you guys here on the op, which I believe it's the only sniper in the game other than Chambers op that has this, is if you scope in, you can hit a button depending on what it's bound to double scope. This is good for longer distances. For me, this is bound to alt, and this is really effective for me. I don't know what it's bound to by default, but alt has always been really useful for me, and I would highly recommend that. So it's called toggle zoom level. You go to controls and then equipment, and toggle zoom level, mine's left alt, and it's very convenient. It's just where my thumb is. Whenever, instead of pressing spacebar, I just press that, and it makes it really easy for longer range sniper fights. So if you guys have any questions about this, it's pretty straightforward, right? This is a very useful kind of arena here. I taught you guys how to get better with the Marshal, which will translate to other snipers as well. You can do the same thing with practice, or with starting with the op. So guys, let me know what your scores are down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.